Hello, mega love shout out to all my viewers. So today's vlog is about IELTS. Are you familiar with IELTS? What is IELTS? What are the types? What are the categories? Who can take the IELTS? What's the purpose of this? And of course, I'm gonna share the tips on how to pass the exam based on my experience. So I asked some people or some of my friends because they took already the IELTS, so I asked them if they did some preparation or they practice or do they have any idea what's all this IELTS about. So if you're a student or if you're planning to study or work or migrate in like Canada, New Zealand, UK, this video is for you, and I hope you will learn something. And if you want to ask some questions, you can just leave your comment down and I will answer you if I know the answer. Okay, so let's go. So here is first, what is IELTS? First is IELTS is I stands for international, E stands for English, L language testing, T as for system. So IELTS is International English Language Testing System, and this exam is to judge English language ability, especially when we go to study, work or migrate in the foreign countries. So what are the two types of tests? What's the two types of test IELTS in Canada? We have the IELTS academic, and second is we have the general training. So let's see what's this IELTS academic, what's the purpose. So here the purpose of IELTS academic is the IELTS academic test is suitable for those wanting to study in English speaking environment or university or higher education. You can also take IELTS academic for professional registration purposes. The test measures if you are ready to begin studying in English. In short, this IELTS Academy mostly taken by the students if you want to study abroad or you want to study in like Canada, New Zealand, Australia or UK. The university required this IELTS academic exam. So for those students who is planning to study abroad, or and then you can have this exam. And the purpose of IELTS general training, so the purpose it can also be taken for work experience or other employment training. IELTS general training is also required for migration to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. The test features everyday English language skills that you will need in social and workplace environments. So this general training can be taken by the for those who are planning to migrate to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and UK. You can take this general training exam. And for those who want to work, this general training is required also for Canada and other foreign countries, of course. So let's see. So before we go to the passing score, we have to go to the categories. So in academic IELTS and general training IELTS, they have 4 categories. They have the reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So with these 4 categories, you have to, at least for for the IELTS academic, at least you have a band score of 6, so that you will get the required score of 6. Reading at least 6, the score. Writing 6, listening 6, speaking 6. And the score depends on the requirements of the universities, because some school they required 6 and other school they required 6.5. If the school has a higher standard, of course they required higher score. So reading first is before I took my exam, general, I took the general training exam. Reading, I thought you just only do reading and no more questions there. But here in reading, they will give you will read a story, and there's a question, and you have to answer this question. Example, they give a story, and you will find what's the heading of the topic. And others, of course there are choices. And then writing, they will also give a situational question, or it's a story, and they will ask you questions. And for the writing, there's a required words. I think it's 150 to 200 words. That's the required words to use. And listening, they will turn on the radio, and while listening, you have to pay attention to the questions, because sometimes the answer is the question. For the first question, the answer is at the end of the story, and sometimes it's in the middle, or either on the first sentence. So you really have to be very careful, and you really have to listen, because once you stuck there on the first question, the speaker going so fast, and then you didn't know, then the story is finished already, and then you didn't answer those questions. Like when I took my exam, I was looking for the first questions for the first answer, but while I was reading the question, the answer is already the answer of the third question is already in the middle story. So you really have to pay attention for that. And for the speaking here, you have to the tips here is you have to look the examiner eye to eye, and be confident with your answer, and don't use the words all the time until you finish the speaking. Like example, for me, when they ask me other questions, it is always answerable by yes and why, but instead of saying yes, you can say I believe, I agree, or I tend to agree. At least use, instead of yes, you should use other words related to yes. So that's the 4 categories of IELTS. And we're going to the score. So what is the passing score of IELTS? So here a while ago I discussed this. To pass the IELTS exam, you need a minimum overall score of 6.5 with a minimum score of 6 in each category. So these are the categories. So reading must be 6, writing must be 6, listening must be 6, speaking must be 6, so that you will get the score of overall 6 or you can also reading here 6.5, rating 6.5, so that 6.5 so that you can get a score of 6.5. And for the general training IELTS also, you at least have, there's no failed score, but at least you have the minimum score of 6. So the category, it's the same, reading, writing, listening, speaking, but the minimum score is at least 6 or 5.5, 6, 5.5, so that you'll get the score of, you will get the total score of 6, overall score of 6. So that's all about the IELTS. So for me, I get the, when I have my exam, I took the general IELTS exam. So later I will reveal if I passed or not. So we still have something to discuss. So for me, my the materials I needed for my practice is 3 months prior to my exam. I practiced already. Oh, see, I have a long review or practiced for my IELTS, because it's expensive. The payment is expensive, so I make sure that even though my score is not perfect, at least I will pass. So I will share you some of the materials I used. So for my practices, here is the one I used. I used the Oxford Online English. This is British English. Because they advised me that it's better to use the British English. British English. So when I use this one, it's really helpful. They explain every details. So here you can see this. So this is Oxford Online English, and this is where I have my practice for reading, writing, speaking, and there are some examples here, like for the listening. It really helpful, because there's the questions, and after you have your practice, then you can check if you have if you got the right answers. So here, there are lots of sources here. So you can, if you want to practice, you can go to YouTube or Google it, and you can see this Oxford Online English. They have also in Google. There are lots of examples here, and there are also tips. So you can see, and then you will also see their scores. See, there's band 8, 8.5, there's band 9. Band 9 is the highest score. I wish to have that score, but at least, even I didn't get the perfect score, at least I passed. Oh. And of course, aside from the YouTube, I also have a book. So for the book, I used this Test Expert Speaking Practice for CELPIP by Christian Lee. So this one, the CELPIP, is also another English exam. But they said this one, CELPIP, is easier than IELTS, and CELPIP has a lower score. The passing rate, the minimum score is 4, but they said IELTS is better. So, but it's the same. They are for English. So as you can see, there are lots of practices here. There are lots of examples. You can read, you can write. So here is the examples. This one is for speaking practice. So I did this, I stand in the mirror and see myself practicing. So here there are lots of examples here. Yeah, these are very useful. At least you have the idea what to do during the exam. So I will put this one on the description of my blog, and then you can check it. You can see the source of my practice. And also here, writing, of course, this is really helpful. So there are some situational questions here that you can practice. Of course, there's the question. So this is the situational question, and then you have to answer all the questions here. So at least you will have the knowledge about, yeah, that's right, there you should use at least 150 to 200 words. That's the requirements of the writing. So here, so for those people who have scheduled IELTS exam, for students, for those who plan to migrate or to work abroad, you can use this video to get some tips and ideas on how to pass your examination. And of course, I have 2 notebooks here. Look, what did I write? Ta-da! And see, I practiced a lot. For 3 months, I practiced my writing, reading, listening, and of course speaking. So there you go, there are lots of practices here. So here, with these 2 notebooks, at least it's worth it, my practice, because I really passed those. So here you go. So this is the preparation I did before I went for my IELTS. So for me, I took the general IELTS training exam, and I will put down on my description below. For those who are here in Canada, I'll put down below the link that I used for my practice. And for those people who are planning to migrate to Canada, New Zealand, UK, or other countries, you can check the description box below. I will put all the links that I used here, and for the Canada's legit website, I will put down below so that you can check some informations about Canada or other countries like UK, New Zealand. So this video is really helpful for those who want to take their IELTS exam. So if you are interested with this video, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you will be notified on my next vlogs. So thank you for watching, and I hope you will share with your friends, and share for those people who are planning to study, work, and migrate to the foreign countries, so that at least they have an idea. So for me, at least I passed my general IELTS exam because of with the help of this practice that I did. So if you want to pass your IELTS, make sure you will at least you will read and find some helpful resources so that you will practice. And for those who have a scheduled IELTS, good luck. I wish you will pass your exam. So once again, this is Marcus P Vlog 20. Thank you for listening.